Hi, Steve here in my workshop in Bellevue. This is assignment 2-8, Kerfs for bending in the Shopsmith Mark IV 7520 self-study course. And what we're going to do today is learn how to bend stock into a shape that you want to bend it into. And you do that by cutting a series of kerfs here in the wood so that we can bend it. And this is the end result. This is what you're going to have when we're done doing this particular assignment. And we're going to start with this piece of stock here. And in your written assignment, we've put the instructions on how to prepare this here, which is a block, which we've cut a kerf in here, and we put a 6-penny nail here, 3/8 of an inch over from that kerf, and we've cut off the head so that that nail will fit exactly into this kerf here that we cut. So our blade cuts 3/32 kerf, and a 6-penny nail is 3/32. So that's why we use that. All right. So now that once you have this prepared, after this, it's just a simple matter of cutting all these kerfs. And I'm going to put this aside, and we will start, when we start the cut, we will butt this up against the pin. And then after we cut the first one, then we'll put that kerf on the pin and just keep moving over till we get them all cut. But we can't do them all this way. We'll have to flip it at some point. When we get about 2/3 of them cut, okay, then I can flip it over here and do the rest of them. So I'm not going to have you watch me do all of these kerfs. I'll have you watch me do maybe the first 5 of these, and after that, then we're going to pause the camera, and I'll come back, and you can watch me do probably the last 5, and that's what we'll do for these first 2 segments. Then in the last segment, we'll just be taking this piece of wood, we'll be putting it in some water, we're going to soak it overnight for 24 hours, and then we'll come back, and then we'll bend it in the vise. So that's this particular assignment. So let's get started here. Do my 7-step safety check. I'm checking my motor lock, my quill lock, my trunnion lock, carriage lock, table height lock. My machine's firmly on the ground. I've got nothing on the auxiliary spindles. We're not using the upper saw guard with riving knife. We're just using the non-through cut riving knife on this one, if you have it. Alrighty, so let's switch over to my safety glasses. And we'll get started here. So, as I said, after about the first 5 kerf cuts, then we'll be pausing here. Okay, so now we have all of the kerfs cut, and this stock is 3/4 inch stock, so I set my depth for 5/8 of an inch, so we've got just an 1/8 inch left of stock there. So we can already see we could start to bend this, but to really bend it the way we need to soak this in water overnight for 24 hours. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to put it in a sink full of water for 24 hours, and then I'll come back and you'll watch me then bend that. So that's the end of this segment here. I'm dressed a little bit differently here today. I'm on my way out the door to go to a meeting. Not using any machinery here. This is only going to take a couple minutes here. Now that we have soaked this here in water, I've soaked it for 24 hours. Actually, I reread the written assignment. You only have to soak it for about 30 minutes, but this has been soaking overnight. So now we're going to bring it over here to the vise, and we're going to bend it. And I can start to do it by hand here, and just put it right here in my vise. And now we slowly going to bend this. Don't do it too quickly because you don't want to crack or break the wood on the outside. So we'll just very slowly going to crank this in. Now, if you don't have a vise this big, you can just use bar clamps and accomplish the same thing when you do that. So we're just going to crank this in, and I'm going to do it until it's 4.5 inches between those two, and I've got my ruler here to do that. So just very slowly crank it in. Don't do it too quickly. And you can see here as we crank it in, see these are closing in here, and they'll get as close as they can possibly go, and then the others will follow suit. So of course the spacing between your curves here determines how tight of a curve we can do in here. And your power tool Woodworking for Everyone has a section in here where it explains how to calculate how far you want to do your spacing on these. Okay. So actually, I want to have this out this way there. I want to have it kind of the same on both sides there. All right. Let me get this up so they're both even up here. Right there and there. All right. Now I want to get my ruler out here. I want to have, I said about, let's see. Dottie, would you go get me that written lesson plan off of the table there so I can read what it says, what I'm supposed to be? I think it's 4.5, but I'm just going to double check. Yeah, written assignment. Here, let me have that, please. Yeah, that's what I want right here. Nope, wrong one. Let's see if I have it here. Well, I'm pretty sure. Here we go. All right. Just hand that to me, please. Okay, so look here. Kerfs for bending. It says here 4.5 inches. Yeah, so that's what we want. It's 4.5. That's what the written assignment says. Please bear with me here. I wrote these and performed them about 8 months ago, so I'm just now getting around to doing the videos for them. So half right there. Okay, so there we are. So now this I am going to leave. I'm going to leave this for about 48 hours, and in 48 hours we'll undo this, and when it's done, it springs back a little bit after you do it. But this is a completed one. I'll see you in 48 hours, and you can watch me take this back out. So that's it for this segment. All right, so we've let this sit in the vise for 48 hours. Let's take a look at it here in the vise and see what it looks like. And you can see that it has shrunk a little bit from drying, and that's why it actually fell down like that. And so now I can actually just pull it right out, and there it is. And it held its position pretty good there. So there we are. This is our Kerfs for bending. We'll see you on the next one.